When did Shakespeare die and where was he buried? He died on April 23, 1616, Holy Trinity Church. When did the Globe Theatre burn down, in which it was built the next year? 1613. Who financed the Globe Theatre? James Burbage's wife. What three conditions did the Mayor of London say that the Globe Theatre had to follow in order to be built? 1. Open quietly with no parades. 2. Some profits go to charity. 3. Play starts by 2 p.m. so people could be home by dark. What was painted on the heavens? The zodiacs. What three items were sold at concession stands? Tomatoes, oranges, meat pies. What was hell? Area under the stages. What was the capacity for a play at the Globe Theatre? 3,000 people. What is another name for the pit? The yard. Who were the two twins that were born 2 years after the first child? Judith Hammett. When did he marry and to who? 1582 at age 18 to Anne Hathaway, which was 26. Why were bear baiting pits and cockfighting rings disruptive to the Globe Theatre? They were extremely noisy and made it difficult to pay attention. When and did the King's Men lease a private enclosed playhouse called the Blackfriars that had indoor lighting? 1608. What age of boys usually went to school and what did they learn? Age 7 to 15, where they learned math, Latin, and Greek. What were pre-theaters? Actors performing in wagons or courtyards of local inns. What were standing spectators called? Groundlings. In England, most people bathed how many times a year? Once. How many plays, sonnets, and long poems did Shakespeare write? 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long poems. When did Queen Elizabeth die? 1603. What often appeared from the heavens? Ghosts. How long was an average play at the Globe Theatre? 2 to 3 hours. Why did Shakespeare considered a man for all seasons? His plays appealed to everyone at all ages and of all times. What was the shape of the Globe Theatre? Octagonal. When was Shakespeare born? April 23, 1564. When did he join the Lord Chamberlain's men, writing and performing with them? 1594. Where were sound effects made? Special huts. Where was Shakespeare educated? St. Edward. What did he study at school? Latin and Greek. When was Shakespeare's first folio published? 1623, 7 years after his death. Where was Shakespeare born? Stratford-upon-Avon. What announced the day's performances? A flag located in a small hut on the top of Globe Theatre. How was the seating divided at the Globe Theatre? The pit held general crowds standing, galleries had some money sitting with the roof above you, and box seats were for royalty or noblemen only. What did the Lord Chamberlain's men change their name to honor the new monarch James I? The King's Men. What are the dimensions of the Globe Theatre? 27.5 feet deep by 43 feet wide and raised up by 5 feet. What would some of the expectations that the people felt for comedies? Clowns appearing dumb or foolish or bright or witty. Were children allowed to watch plays? No, unless the play taught a moral lesson. What was the roof that covered the stage called? The heavens. What were dogs who attacked the bear's feet called? The non-jumpers, underdogs. What were bear baiting pits? Gambling pits where a wild grizzly bear fought 20 dogs. List the people that would attend Shakespeare's plays. Workmen, housewives, children, pickpockets, businessmen, apprentices, and gamblers. Where did the usher take a small locked metal box once it filled up with money to exchange it for an empty one? The box office. What is William Shakespeare best known as? An actor and playwright. Where was the Globe Theatre first constructed? Thames River near London. What were dogs who jumped at the bear's throat called? Jumpers, over dogs. Who played the parts of women on stage? Young men whose voices have not changed. Why did theaters occasionally close during the time period? The plague. What was the cost to watch a play at the Globe Theatre? 1 penny. Who was his father and what was his occupation? John Shakespeare, a tanner and a glover, and was also in the town's council. What were trapdoors often used for in these plays? Graves. Did thieves usually attempt to steal the boxes where money was held? They wouldn't risk their lives for only 100 pennies. Who would greet you at the main entrance and ask for admission fees? Usher. Who was his mother and her status? Mary Ardern, daughter of a wealthy landowner. Which color flags represented what plays? Red flag is history, white flag is comedy, and black flag is tragedy. What were Lord's rooms? Private galleries, 6 pennies, let a viewer sit here, or sometimes on the stage itself. Why did doctors worry about Queen's habits for taking 1 bath per month? The fear that it spread disease. Who was his first child called? Susanna. When did Shakespeare build the Globe Theatre? 1599. Did girls go to school? No, they were usually educated at home. Which queen reigned for most of Shakespeare's life and enjoyed the theatre? Queen Elizabeth I. What did the audience throw at the actors if they did not like the play? Tomatoes, because they were considered poisonous. What are tiring houses and where were they? Dressing rooms, and they were located right behind the stage.